as a family. And so many of the people that when we don't get complaints, where they don't come talk to me, after they don't sign for the check, and the whole land will go solve the problem in the host. The money now I get them. Nobody knows take on our hand. Yeah.
After where they don't pay their affected property owner they are, na the Moyamba Road. I've been talk to them, but how them feel about the compensation when they give to them.
My name is Hawa Masakoy. I live na Moyamba, number 5 Serena Lane, Moyamba Kayamba. I'm so glad because of whether they don't can demarcate me place. Me they don't broke me place first before self they can't pay this pay. They be want make emergency breach. So I'm so glad even me company where I be said they give the courage, but they talk all kinds of things against me. I'm glad more not for me, but I'm glad for them. When they don't receive the money, them me self go get rest and SRA go get rest.
Now my name Amadou Sise, Ademoyamba District, Kayamba Chiefdom. And I feel good in my life, but this issue here with the government they do. Where it compensate all individual how no more you owes they neither they value they pay you. Owes I be get shop now they move me. They say because of the road, the goodness of the district where they come, so that land move, they want make the road. Say I say now goodness, now happiness, now even comfort to we the business people there because of all the work on the road, so that goods they come in frequently.
The people end up assured the Salone Roads authorities say they go use the money for the purpose where they give them for. For Radio Democracy, Mange Mansaye, the report.
The program is still listening to now Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. As we tell you earlier, today na the program where they can talk about the integrated and resilient urban mobility project within the Ministry of Transport and Aviation, as the longest support from the World Bank for implement this project for 5 years. Now support we World Bank give to the government of Salone. If people can remember, inside 2019, October to be specific, the president will launch this particular project here so for circa $50 million support where the World Bank being give to government. And safe inside that apart from that money day, Salone government go for put $2 million on this same project for ensure say they implement USAI according to the thing them where this project cover gets for do with footbridge them where they get for make na different parts them, traffic lights, marketplace them, and safe other thing them way according to the project go help for improve the socio-economic activity them we can happen na the country. Well, for can help we talk about the other information them we on a need for know about this particular project. Once more, I want for welcome Hindolo Shaka, we are the coordinator for the integrated and resilient urban mobility project. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, my brother, and thank you.
Alright, I just don't give listeners a brief of some panitin them will consist of this project as now $50 million support we the World Bank give to Salone government, and Salone government said gets for give additional $2 million for implement this project from where the president launched in October 2019. Take we from the waiting done they happen to this particular project.
Thank you, Mabel. Thank you for having me. Well, the project, I just want to come just before the launch because it's important information. Prior to where the president take over office, this project was at $20 million, but it was a loan. And also, after where the president take over and the Minister of Finance, they engaged the bank, this project was increased to $50 million, but not to just that. Through the intervention of the president and the Minister of Finance, this project the loan was transformed into a grant. So that is an important information we need. We prepared the project, it was approved by the bank, and in October, as you rightly mentioned, the president launched this program. Now, from that point day to now, the project we've been engaged on what you call desktop and software issues. For let you begin construct, for let you begin forget buses then at the street, for let you get bus stops them throughout, for let you get depots and terminal, it takes contractors and consultants. And the process for recruiting contractors and they in a transparent, open, international competitive tender can take time, particularly we'll get for go back and forth with the World Bank. And so that now we be done they do. We be done they recruit all the team up to the project implementation unit. And we don't do all of that except for 2 more contractors who they do. We go to the East Corridor, and I will talk about that later on. So maybe not denting and they will be done they put in place, and we they about for begin for actual work now ground.
So now we look at this urban mobility projects. What are some of the things that we do inside the project?
Well, like we say, the project now a $50 million project, and the basic objective of the project, let we start with that. Let family know what's in the project there, but before we talk about the components. Now, for improved access to public transport, for address climate resilience, which in that they mean the area they like we rain they come, the intersection the work you see water they flow na street. We project one for address then drainage system then they, and also for improved road safety. Of course, that clearly would speak to itself for reduce accidents and make passenger experience improve, and of course for build the capacity of the transport sector. That not the objective, but the components then are 3 main components then are this project. We get the one way for improved public transport. When I just talk about. You get the civil works aspect where they do some infrastructure, like I don't say. We get for do quite a lot of works where people then go see visibly. For instance, you get for see bus stops them, you get for see bus terminals with a bill market, so that we go pull with good people in the street. Let them in a market, they will get free flow. We side people then for waka and motorcar for pass. We they do a control and monitoring center where they monitor how them bus here they operate from point to point. We they also do traffic enforcement cameras. We they work with different stakeholders. I will talk about that later. We therefore do footbridges them, and then you will begin see them soon by latest end of July to August. The construction for some of the footbridges then they begin. With traffic lights then serve the contract we they about for sign around the 14th of July. For let the West Corridor begin, the road improvement with traffic lights get for involved, pedestrian walkway get for day, metal barriers the way we make person not just the jump na street, and all of them thing and they. So this then are the part of the project who they try to implement.
So now already don't identify areas them we go for benefits from the implementation. Yes,
in terms of geographic area, we get what we call the West Corridor, where they start from number 2. You come up to Lumley, to Juba, Lumley, Wilkinson Road, Congo Cross, Boss Halts, Savage Street, Sanders Street, Charlotte Street by Post Office. Is that Charlotte Street? The street that goes down by Post Office. And then you go right down to the new City Hall. Then you turn, go to bus stop. Now the West Corridor, Dandy. And now they will intervene for the west. Then the east, you they take them from the very bus station that they themselves determinate all the way to Jue. But where you go through the bus, they go through Kisi Road. Where the bus they come through Frobe Road, and then you go all the way terminate na Jue. This now the pilot phase, and this now the corridor where they intervene with this project.
How this project different from the one way the residential infrastructural units now State House get for implement, where themselves they cover most things that we don't talk about now. We get to do with traffic lights, bridges and all. How is different?
Oh, very good question, Mabel. This, first of all, we are a collaborative sector, the transport sector. We collaborate a lot. In fact, when OPII they train them enumerators who are the scene street now with them orange vests. Now we not mean one person we go give the opening statements then they. And we support them through this project as well, not just with finances, but with other means for let them carry the studies. Now, as I explained, the Ministry of Transport, they begin build them traffic lights here and footbridges them along this corridor I don't explain. But what we discuss in the sector, say not to this corridor no more forget traffic light. It not make sense let traffic light just then a bus all the way, come up Kingama Road, all take come na Jomo Kenyatta Road, all the intersection they not get. So wait till we agree with OPII, UNAT do the studies, then we go use the study, one document we will all go use and build and expand on the traffic light installations throughout the city. But for specifically for this project, now this corridor first we they look, and then whilst we they complete this corridor, we go expand into other parts. But you need data. Now that data there you see then they collect.
So this corridor where you they talk about, then you as well not go for the inside this same corridor where una they cover.
Sorry?
then you're not going for day na the same corridor way on the cover, because the last time when we host somebody from there, we na been the own technical person inside me explain similar thing where you explain. So from number 2 come down.
Yes.
So now the 2 they join.
Yes, we in fact
of different money them.
Yes. Well, let me explain to you. The scope where OPI being very limited to the CBD, the Center Business District. So when we engage them, we say, look, the IROM they cover from Jue to number 2. So expand your scope so that we will get the data. And so they agree, we work together, we look at the terms of reference, and a day we step in as Ministry of Transport for even give support to this data collection in terms of finances, and also for support the geographic area where they cover. So yes, the original scope now been just the CBD way OPII before look at, but because we collaborate with them, they don't expand the data collection aspect of it to other parts of the city, and we therefore do the installations then they as well together with OPII. So we are working as a team.
Okay, you talk about market them. Who's can market them would they talk about, and now who side then get for the?
I want to start with the West Corridor. The reason why they start always with the West Corridor now, because as in the opening, I say 20 million in this loan in this project we did for. So we'll start for plan, not being for that. But then through the intervention, as I say, of the President and the Minister of Finance, we don't expand this to the 50 million. So we don't include the East Corridor as well. Now in the West, if you go to the West, if you go Lumley now, you go see like 5 giant billboards then, where they show you the area where they do the market. The type of markets that they do, it's really high, is decent, because the market get forget what you call clinic, storage facility, and waiting white man called creche. Creche now say small picking that we're not ready for go school yet. With them mama then they sell, go get side for go play, and then they teach them small thing, whilst their mommy then they sell. So when they get a small clinic there as well. This market they alongside the transit terminal. So we take bus, you can just come on at the terminal, go to the market. So it's about, I think, 2 or 3 stories in height, and we get forget parking bays, you get forget proper toilet facilities and storage facilities for the market woman them. So and market man them as well. So now that's what they do and replicate them as well at the east, the same thing.
You look at the Central Business District, nearly all the major streets them don't turn to markets. Somebody go talk about a very big market where go entail or contain all them people there. These projects they include that?
Well, waiting I want for stress on waiting we your mandate as transport. We mandate now for ensure that we move people safely, faster, and for going at them points with comfort. In achieving, we mandate certain things then the way we need for help other people and we get them other mandates then they for do so that we go move ahead. One of them thing and then now for take the market people then off the street, but not to we mandate, not to we responsible for market people them, not to we really responsible for build market.
But if you talk about urban mobility,
yes,
you extend the road. If they still they sell it means achieve the mobility where they talk about.
So we they work. That's why I don't tell you say we project is a very stakeholder intense project. We they work with the city council. We they work with Sierra Leone Road Authority. We they work with everybody where necessary for law we create the pathway for get the project objective done. And if that means say we work with market people, of course then they part of the steering committee, but we mandate not to for build market. We mandate now for ensure that mobility take place.
All right. Continue for the with we now the program in the Loshiaka coordinator where they are this morning for tell we about projects within the implement as World Bank support Salone government with $50 million for implementing the integrated and resilient urban mobility project. Continue for the to go come back to you as we continue for look at more issues in the program.
We continue for look at more issue, and now we go to the ACC. We said the Director for Public Education and Outreach at the Anti-Corruption Commission, Patrick Sandise, the investigation where ACC do on some Naxa command in Abombali district for sake of the couple where government's been give them for shape to poor people during the 3-day corona lockdown. Them fair not say them people are not being misuse this couple. Patrick Sandi talk more to the arena inside this interview.
Some of members say sometime in May, the Anti-Corruption Commission being come out to the public and inform them, say they conduct investigations relating to allegations of corruption in cash transfer, and that may happen at Bombali district. But basically, it been got to do with money where the government of Sierra Leone give the National Commission for Social Action for 3 days lockdown. And the money basically enough for cushion the effect, because with this COVID-19 around and the government where they impose lockdowns, if you say certain people then they were too vulnerable, and as such they need to give them some amount of money for keep them through that period of time. And that was exactly what happened. So that the government of Sierra Leone gave NACSA this money. So NACSA did the implementation of the cash transfer in Bombali. But it happened to say the Africa Young Voices television being do a screening of a program where they interview people. So that video been go round social media, and a lot of people then even see the screen one at AYV, and basically be the point at that people then complain, say then go receive 250,000, but that then get for ask them for the money and only left with them 40,000. So the commission do the investigations, and we don't conclude the investigations, and we don't come out public for tell them exactly within our findings.
Okay, so now waiting are some of the findings where Unami gets, why Tsunami they do this investigation?
Investigation being very thorough, the investigation being very, very comprehensive. We make sure say everybody we need for talk to, we comb all the areas we feel say necessary. But then first we come for realize that the list where they use for make the payments on not to NACSA generate them at all. This was generated by partners, other people then we come with the list of beneficiaries. That is one. Then also we can find out say the payment exercise itself being start first on Saturday. That is the 2nd of May. And they've been paid people then we been in the region of 276. Then the payment continued on Monday. So, but the payment will happen on the 2nd, will happen at the Makini City Council. But on Monday, where the payment be commenced, you find out say they've been put the teams into two, wherein one team brands Smart Kano be the healthy team where they make payments na Makini City Council and Tech of Veterinary, and the other team will be get Sheikh Ahmed Bobok Kamara and Juanet Kano na a district coordinator. He also the part of the second team where they make the payments. They make the payments na the office of the National Commission for Persons with Disability within a Frontier Road and also 10 Arabic College Road. So the payment will happen at these 4 places. All 3 payments or place payments at 3 places went on very well, save one when the one will be the number 10 Arabic College Road, and that way the footage where AYV do then get people that will talk actually that then we will receive the money, but then at the end of the day 40,000 then just take and give them instead of the total amount of 250,000 they're supposed to benefit from. Now a person will also not a beneficiary, but he aware of people that will they name the panelist, but they're not around or they're not present for the payment, and tell them say when we now go answer the names and they give you the money, when I get for can't give me the money and we will give you now 40,000. So now this now backfired. Now make at the end of the day the confusion will be there around. Now AYV come and do the interviews. It was not anything per se that involved NASA staff or even the Anti-Corruption Commission staff, but rather than being just a beneficiary, we do this.
During our investigation, almost at the couple will be involved, and this thing will be up on a bombard.
Well, basically now 4 people that we come for stand in the place of the actual beneficiaries. So we're going to talk about like 1 million, because now 250,000 each they receive, and then out of this money we then receive, then now we ask that therefore give just 40,000 to the panel we go standing, and then the rest goes to this merit camera where in say the money now in Kangi, the actual beneficiaries were not present at all.
In all this year, so we don't get down and don't investigate. What's in the Anti-Corruption Commission, the recommendation to NACSA?
Well, basically, in as much as the investigation don't come out for say we don't get any clear evidence of misappropriation of the funds here by NACSA staff or the partner staff, but rather than being just some weaknesses, policies, and even in the processes involved, we now recommend that the need for put in place policies relating to payments we therefore do with situations of this nature. Not do something that will develop overnight by way of ad hoc measures, so that you have all of those processes and procedures proper, we will be able for really prevent the occurrence of corruption and corrupt practices. And the Commission is always willing to to support NACSA in this regard. So we will work alongside with them. But it is very key that before we now get for implement programs of this nature, especially at a nature or at an urgent time like that, because of the time they announced the lockdown, the number of persons, the need for target, and the parties or partners will also be concerned, then just decide for go about and do them in the kind of rush manner. We believe there should be laid down procedures so that all parties involved will know their roles and responsibilities, and everything will be foolproof of corruption, so that at the end of the day nobody will come and then answer name will not to a name. So all those structures have to be put in place. The list have to be there, available to different parties, has to be vetted, and a lot of other things. Well, I quite believe the systems review process will handle that, so that in future we know we'll get incidents of this nature.
Director for Public Education and Outreach at the Anti-Corruption Commission, Patrick Sandy, been they talk to my colleague Theodore Arena inside the interview day for sake of the investigation we then done for sake of the NACSA rest with them support cash transfer we then do now McKinney who say they don't fair not say NACSA workman they not be misuse government couple. The program Good Morning Salone they continue, we come back after this break.
Salone Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salone Link money transfer for send money to anybody in let you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office in let you not get the account number. Buy Edsalite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yakba don't done for the boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salone Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salone Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
4117 and it's same you begin feel fever. The coronavirus in a salon now. Now sick, we don't kill plenty people in the world. But if you do what your body will command them, they say make you do. And self report quick. If you fail not say, you get sign or any person near you don't get same sign them, it's possible for let the person well.
The well body workman say for let the signal scatter all sign at the country. If you don't get nothing for go do not eat, sit down na host.
Go dey wash your hand fast with soap and water, or you use hand sanitizer, so that the tumbu go die if you don't canna your hand.
When you dey waka, let for go dey touch them wall and then railing them, because you no go know that don't touch them.
Not forget, call 117 if you get person wey sick na you host or your community.
And Osiwa support radio democracy for bring this message to you.
Alright, the program is still listening to now Good Morning Salone, where they come to you live from we New Englandville studio, the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. And we want to say plenty thank you to we partner radio stations them, where they link in a different parts of the country for ensure say when I get sweet loud and clear also on a day listen from. Many thanks to the management of Radio Shalom 89.5 Nakwena Dugu, Radio Malen 88.5, Radio Wanji 101.1 na Podium District, Radio Colenten 90.0 na Cambia, Radio Mwa 105.5 na Kailaun District, and Voice of Karine 98.0 na Karine District. Plenty thank you to una all for way una the link Radio Democracy for ensure say people in different parts of the country get updates on waiting they happen. We come over to the studio guest back as we tell you today we look at the integrated and resilient urban mobility project where World Bank supports Salone governments for implements for 5 years. Osai then go for do different things them for let them go improve on the socio-economic activity them where they happen in the country. And at the studio we get the coordinator for this project where na Hindelo Sheka. Earlier before we take that previous material day and serve the jingle we just listened to, you be the talk about the thing them where they inside this particular project and serve the status of the project as we did talk. make for understand say na August una one for let people and really begin see physical work them na different parts them where you say una already do identify for the project implementation. You go on for quickly take we through now as August we just get a month to August for let people and begin see physical work. Also therefore expect for see waiting.
Thank you, Mabel. They about for sign the contracts for the road improvement for the West Corridor, who have been on described from number 2 all the way to bus station. So when we do that, from that point onward, the contractor they begin mobilize. Normally we do that for like 3 weeks to 4 weeks, getting all in preparations and all in equipment and work. That's why we talk about August. Work will begin physically in August, but also we engage that safe done almost go towards the end. We engage 2 other contractors then for start the footbridge them, both na the east and the west. And one area where we'll begin see footbridge work will begin now like Wilberforce towards bottom and go roundabout. Thank the military, they don't give me land na that area there for move them, put that the way they at the roundabout. Get them all into a proper place where them go.
Because that's about us the kind way how the place look like.
Yes. How
footbridge go there. Now that part the way like we get side the way people already don't take as you don't say parking lots, people get shops in there and all.
Oh well, the design of the footbridge don't be done by SLRA. We thank so much for their collaboration in this project. So all the way to they talk, so we don't take them into consideration when they do the footbridge designs. So that's not a problem. But we they create space for them for go inside a proper place for park, not for dinner streets. So now one area for answer your question, now one area where Fambulen go keep in view for say now Wilberforce, another area now normally between the Spur Road roundabout to the Safecon roundabout, and after that as well we they start for look at intervention at that area, not to just the footbridge. Now they will begin to look at the road improvements, the pedestrian walkway and traffic lights as well. So we they begin at the west and we they go towards the east.
You're talking about pedestrian walkway. Which walkway would they talk about now? Because when you look at areas like Kisi Road, for example, even the slabs, the way people in the Wakapa most times or most of them don't broke. We'll see improvement or expansion of them, or we'll see different design.
Musa, thanks. This now exactly the improvements that what they talk about. Throughout this corridor, we create a space for people there for Waka. The reason we'll go into market, now for we'll tell the market people there along these corridors, they say, okay, we don't help una for build market, una go there. Yeah, now for people there for Waka, and we they improve their slabs and they. Just yesterday, we get a very good stakeholder collaboration meeting at the Ministry of Transport, now we conference room, of about 15 stakeholders in terms of the right of way. Right of way, SLRA defined for we yesterday, and we went into detail how we go achieve the clearance of the right of way throughout the corridor. And wait till they talk so now one of the issues that we come up Kisi Road in particular, because the bus get for use Kisi Road for exit towards the east. So that aspect there, yes, we get for do one. But you know, say we city is built up already. We know get for go they broke people like oh. So the space where we get now we they work with, but make sure say it's efficient for use.
Okay, we earlier before we go for a break, we will talk about the collaboration with other partners. Them, one of them now, like the city council. When you look at the Transform Freedom Plan, mobility and resilient mobility of the city, now one way they part of the mayor in plan. How the Minister of Transport they work with the city council in this direction?
Thank you. As you see, we'll be the launch the project. You go see the mayor in face day and in statements where he be make. The other aspect I will tell you is that on the steering committee of this project, we get 2 representatives where they the steering committee where they represent the Freetown City Council at that level, and the subcommittee will initially set for right of way. Now SLRA and City Council they part of them as well, but also the PIU, the Project Implementation Unit, we actually employed an urban planner, particularly for bridge the relationship between the project and the local government when at the city council. So we collaborate extensively with the city council in terms of transforming Freetown and modernizing the transport aspect of Freetown. But remember, say, the corridor where we cover, it transcends the jurisdiction of the Freetown City Council into what we call Ward C, when the other council within the rural Freetown, what they call Freetown Urban Rural. So we jurisdiction as National Ministry of Transport therefore look beyond just Freetown City Council, but we collaborate heavily with them and also with the Ward C.
All right, another part of this project that's to do with procurement for buy like but 200 buses them. How this go get for happen?
Now what we do, but we all don't get history if you don't grow small like Freetown for no say buses they don't come and go with no proper system in place. They look at the whole 9 years. Bus for run bus not to just go buy them and can begin run them. There are other aspects we will for look at for sustain them bus here. So waiting they go on now, Mabel. Now the actual design the way fit Freetown Road, we fit we hills then small. Now we they look at, and we they look at them at a broad spectrum at all international levels. The second thing where they go on are the design of the depots them. Who side the bus then for the park, then fuel, and then maintain and money before they go back na street. Remember, one of the objectives of this project now road safety. The other aspect as well we they look at now the comfort where we go bring come to the people where they ride these buses. Just yesterday with the Sierra Leone Road Transport Corporation management, we sit down with the conclude the designs of some of the buses. Some of them therefore include toilets in them. All of them they include a Wi-Fi, a camera, and a charging point inside the bus. And the driver in bay go completely lock so that somebody not go affect the driver where they move the bus passenger. So we dey look all into them comfort here vis-a-vis waiting we go able charge customers them eventually now for use
about
the
the bus terminal them and other thing them on the plan for congest and I just remember where you take into consideration the way how the urban setting done there right now, the way how people them don't they build and all they go through any planning, then just they construct. Una take into consideration, say like you say Freetown don't choke. Una take that into consideration.
Thank you, Mabel. That's exactly the point. We they go out na the streets and look at the experience. We they jump inside the buses and the podas and just get the customer experience. That don't inform how we design the sizes of the buses. That don't inform which kind of buses we need for peak times, like between 6 to 9:30 or between 5 to 8 na net. So we look at all them issues here for design the sizes of the buses, the express nature of them, and the road width them where we get as well.
Continue for the between at the studio. Hindolo Shaka will come back to you. We'll look at other issue.
Well, inside the program now, as school they open today, July 1 for picking them way, they take class examinations them. The Deputy Director of Education Western Area Urban, Francis Kamaradon, call on school authority them for use their own facility them way they get for prevent picking and don't forget coronavirus. So the government provide new facility for them. Francis Kamara talk this inside one interview with where even they respond to some concern them with different school them been raised say they not get their own facility them for prevent picking them from the coronavirus. You know, Kabia gets more Igona reports.
This BNTM, the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, been pull one press release outside and say July 1st this year. School them go open for picking them waiting at the different examination class them and said the ministry will put some guidelines them where school authority them for use for the picking them we get for go school. This make Radio Democracy been go work on a different school them and ask them school authority they are how them prepare for July 1st.
Mr. Frederick O. Jones, acting principal government Gokel Junior Secondary School. From the day we government made the pronouncement, say school for open for the examination classes as JSS3 and SS3, we be done the prepare. We first of all call staff meeting for the entire staff, that is both JSS and SSS. We try for put modalities in place for see what we need, how we for do. So the body SSF don't come in, try for see some of the classroom the way damage, for see how best they go able for coming for meet up the rains. Because if we get for using classroom for the exams, where they start on the August, go and work.
Mrs. Rachel Parker, acting principal, St. Joseph's Junior Secondary School. Well, we don't make all the preparation because we don't meet with the ex-pupils and we don't meet with the teacher then. We don't get meeting with them. We don't tell them the government's imposition for the reopening. And we don't put all the modalities in place. Then we don't make sure, say, we don't reduce the number of picking them where they in the class. First time we get 7 streams them, but we don't shape them to 10 streams so that at least 40 apart. Then go sit down in the classroom, then they no go choke.
Hina Mrs. Bobson Kamara at the Freetown Secondary School for Girls, Senior Secondary Section. Very well prepared. One, in terms of sanitation, we don't identify the Eureka buckets they will get. We will try for spread around the school. We'll get some 5-gallon container them where the cleaners then go down use. Then full up them so that in the first thing in the morning, then go full up the Veronica buckets at strategic points. The compound men, they may not they brush the compound, so that's also they in place.
Even though within school authority they are say they don't put in place, but then say they still get some challenge them. But the thing where the ministry been saying go provide for them.
So we are the no kite. We get some community volunteers them where they head na Mr. Dumbuya na then come this morning, then come and clean the school compound, then the toilets, then spray the toilets then in the classroom there. We don't see government it from this week or last week we not receive not yet. Kuma them in come. They come, I think, week before the last, they meet me now, then see, then go bring 1 tank, because water business is a problem for ourselves. We not get water, so they say them we can't give 1 tank, but we not see it. We not get buckets then, and also the face masks then.
Almost every day, meeting at school, and I see nobody comes for safe or come fumigate. The auxiliary workers where the school they pay. Though outsiders not come on, we be expecting until we get more Veronica buckets. But then Veronica buckets will be from Ebola time.
We not a government. We get a cleaning agent where na in don't can it don't disinfect the whole place today. We don't clean the classrooms them and they don't disinfect the whole classes, the whole toilets. We don't make sure say the tap system, the toilet system, the XPPs they don't even assist we for make masks for the picking them, you know, pink and blue, and they don't give we soap them, liquid soap for wash their hand, the buckets then they everything they in place.
With all them concerning within school authority they have been raised. Be make have been going at the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education and ask the Deputy Director of Education now Western Area Urban, Frances Kamara, but waiting at the thing where the ministry will say it go provide for them school them.
The ministry when they work in groups the way the ministry be established. One major one at the school reopening preparedness working group. Now other day all then safety protocols then they. So the ministry will say it will provide thermometer, facial masks for the picking them, soap for the schools, Veronica buckets, wash stations to the schools then. Like the facial masks and the thermometer, they don't come late, but we get some supplies with neck where readily available where we will take to the schools then. They're not all schools they have for this effect. Now schools they no more where governments be used as holding centers, isolation centers. That one will make them clear.
Frances Kamara continue for call on school authority them for use their own facility them where they get for prevent the picking them, not forget the coronavirus. So the government go give them new facility them.
We have to encourage you will get you Veronica buckets as we able for meet up the time where Corona will go around with the other ministry staff. We want to encourage you for pull and do until governments bring you. The procurement process is not swift as we can think. Now procedure it take like a 1, 2, 3 steps before you be able for procure. Everybody know dandy, but government know they neglect in responsibility. So now that make you see say the other major groups and they be formed, emergency education task force, and then people they be very very committed committed. We still committed. Everybody there about, as you can see, the ministry almost virtually empty. Everybody there about for monitor.
Frances Kamara end up call on school authority them for make them go use the preventive measures them where the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education don't put and serve the Ministry of Health and Sanitation so that the coronavirus no go scatter na the different school them na the country. For Radio Democracy, the Enokabia the report.
Better don't come, better don't come. Are you not trust bank again? Your Salone Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Let me savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's alone for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme there. We branch they all up but not alone. Boko no kenema, we dey. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we dey. Jala frita lonsa, we dey. And my lengthy one, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, that's alone for me and you. Union Salone Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses. Alright, the program Good Morning Salone, they continue, and as soon as be listening to that report, just now where Kabia put together today, picking away in an exam class, them when at the NPSC back and was, they go back na school after about 3 months where the coronavirus be make them dinner host, as the Ministry of Education been say let them pick out dinner host for so that the coronavirus not go affect them from the different schools and where then they attend. But now the ministry puts measures in place for ensure say the picking and go back na school as they not get better time for getting exams them. Well, for now we know what's in they happen this morning as speaking them in a different school them within an exam class. They go back na school. I want for welcome on the line. One power reporter them when Kabia as it is around the Sykes Street area. Also we get the Freetown Secondary School for Girls and Safe. We get St. Joseph's Convent. Good morning and welcome to the program Good Morning Salone, Yes, what's shooting up exactly as we dey talk this morning, we dey expect say picking them within an exam class for the resume school. The program is still listening to now Good Morning Salone. We dey try forget, Kabia for giving updates on waiting they happen as picking them na different school them within an exam class. They out this morning, they go school as the session they don't start back because they get few weeks them where they go for put together for completing syllabus them and safe, get themselves ready for the exam them. Good morning, and welcome to the program.
Hello? Yeah, good morning.
Yes, tell me also you there right now. As we give you updates on waiting they happen because school picking them they go back now school. Also you there right now?
I'm right now site street between the Freetown Secondary School for Girls and the St. Joseph's Street. Yeah, good morning.
Now school.
Are they around site street area? Convent school, the Freetown Secondary School for Girls, and people in the go down from them because there's one of the Prince of Wales and St. Edward's School. So now they are right now. But I want to observe that the school them, while they want to lacking like now the beginning of the practice and social distancing because they just stand up, they are themselves together. When they are themselves together, they will come, they will hold themselves, they will wear face mask, And it's so full all where I don't visit. I don't think they really can get them. One to school, so let people go inside. So one what I saw the school, and then see one they really can get them around the school. So that's what I distance to see the really plastic and the Canada. And under the guidelines of the ministry don't do, then so people are not going to sell around the school then. Right now, the people that are selling at the school right now, they will sell to them. Even though they don't sell and the parents there for out for their food. But take the kids they will sell it. I think they can see them in a day. They're not going to inside class and they all clothes are all around.
About the issue of we get for do with the face mask, because it compulsory now say people where they go out and public place them for the use face mask. The picking them get the face mask they on. Alright, the program Good Morning Salone they continue. We get problem there with the line, but that's now Kabia where they give we information about waiting and waiting they see this morning as they around Syke Street for no waiting they happen as speaking them they return back na school. The program Good Morning Salone they continue, and we still get with studio guests, and we go continue for talk to the studio guests when Sheka Hindolo Sheka there this morning. They tell you about the implementation of the Integrated and Resilient Urban Mobility Project where the World Bank supports the government of Salone for implement. You don't talk about different things them where they under this particular project. Yeah, so let we look at the issue we get for do with the market them. Now outside one of the foresee say market them go able for tin up, despite the one the way we get right now we like not spacious. Where people and still the way they sell in the streets. Also, we go see new markets and be constructed under this project.
Thank you, Mabel. They see one alumni, and that's if they begin latest by October into November.
But we already get a market now, the major parts na alumni where they cover that vicinity.
And I guess you don't see how it affects the road.
So now
yes.
They expand on or
no.
They move them or get a new structured other side?
Would they get a new structure? In earlier I don't mention, say if you did pass by the car wash, they see big giant signposts then with blue corrugated iron sheets where don't barricade there. So outside the car wash they right now they with they plus some more acres. For now they will they do the market, the new market and the transit terminal. Then by approved school now the east. We also don't acquire land there. Now they will do the East Endion market and the transit terminal specifically. But there are many things then that we really are need for link into for let we understand the project. The objective that for let we get bus they flow at predicted times. So they get clear bus stops there along this corridor from number 2 to Joe. That is why you see the market for low clear them. So bus stops then get for the peak times in particular they get predicted bus services. So you don't need for fetch for going inside bus anymore. Then now you bus stop, bus go meet you there every so minutes, whether na 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 8 minutes, depending on how peak the day is. We also in this in the CBD area now the bus station inside the bus then get for the turn. We they try for clear the CBD area, so we they look into car parks, multi-story car park now this very CBD there, so that certain areas at all would discourage on-street parking, so that the bus they not go choke where they run through. And also key to this project now that we they set up a regulatory institution in currently the SLRTC where then they operate buses. SLRTC get for stop for operate buses. We they organize the private sector into companies where then they bid for them bus here, the operator will list the buses to them. SLRTC then work now go bid as the Sierra Leone Public Transport Authority. Then role go bid down for regulate the operations of buses so that there will be standards. Now they just buy your bus, you go begin operate any side. You get forget license and you get forget a route where you they go. So SLRTC, among many other things, with them transition into a regulator, go they look at their aspect there also. And finally on this point, I also want to say this is a people-centered project. The project is heavily stakeholder intense, and it's for the public use. The objective now for law move more people at one go than vehicles. So that's why we look into the mass transit nature of this project. Many people then they will not get bus vehicle na the city. We therefore left the east and the west for Canada the CBD. We want to give them that opportunity for move in a safe and comfortable way. That's why waiting one bus go take 30 or 50 or 54 seater bus. It better pass that in about 10 or 15 motor Canada road. So we they save the climate and we they move more people at one go.
You talk about bus service, but when you talk about government bus service, for Salone post where they listen to you now, not to think we new to Salone people. We don't they see buses that they come, but when you go to Eastern Police, for example, for going to the most popular part in the country, we in the eastern part, you see one bus, you see another bus. You know they're sufficient for the people them. How this project will different from the other bus services them who we don't they see before this thing?
Thank you, Musa. And I will understand if people then get their fears or doubts, because you only the process your mind based on the history and the present way you know. And we talk about the going forward. So I understand that aspect. But that no means saying that so business get for continue as usual. I don't explain say clearly like what we don't do from who launch to now. One of the issues in our studies, like for understand the flow, for understand how many bus we go need during peak time, so that people they not go team up like you say, we one bus pass you wait for that 20 minutes before you see one, and we can all man begin fed. That is why we clear the streets. That is why we get bus stops, and that's why we get control centers. That is why we get depots. That's why we get predicted bus services. So when you sit down now, you phone, you get app, or even at the bus stop there you they get a display where they tell you say in the next 5 minutes bus the day now you bus stop. That is why we need the bus then for flow. That is why we need the place for clear. Because if you they block the buses them, they're not going to able to reach at the bus stop as we they predict them. So that's why we need for pull people them come on at the road, garage where they park now one way at the street, entertainment center they where then they use street as car parks. No, we declare all of that because the buses then get for flow. So we they assure the people of Freetown say this project they bring a bus system. We're not just comfortable but predictable. Where you the team up there, you not go ever begin fed for bus again. At least in this corridor where we talk about from Jue to number 2.
Okay, from Jue to number 2, you talk about the bus services and also talk about markets them. But then we will come back to you for continue the program Good Morning Salone after this break.
They causing confusion.
But this confused me, boo. Look why Uncle Nat in Wall Solid. Look him block the way they beat for him, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand that they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement we are use, and that's not Dangote 3x Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement na the highest grade cement in the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when on one day come na this country, and one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want you concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na online shop and building material store na the one whole country.
Alright, the program Good Morning Salone they continue, and as we get problem with the line for link, we don't get back live for. Let we continue for get updates on waiting they happen as school picking them don't go back na school today. The one them waiting na exam class, they back na school today after about 3 months when they made announced for sick of the corona sick.
Yes.
So I'm still in around the Sykes Street area. You go able to forget any school picking for we where we go quickly talk to forget our first hand information, but
Yes,
then
I don't allow the type to say I don't find them school. And I get to get the exam for the JSS3. Then I be there where they use like for making the secretary of staff. I still at the country in school. I be there.
Abigail. Hello, Abigail. Hello.
Yes, ma. Good morning, ma.
Good morning. Firstly, how it feels like to be back in school after 3 months you've been at home and today you are back in school. How it feels like?
Sorry.
To be back in school
Hello.
this morning.
Well, I'm glad because school open today because we waiting at the examination last weekend. We don't glad because we just have to this year because most people be the Tuesday or the next year. And by the midst of it, the schools today really critical of experiences this time. Because the see and the stuff together, the job and the staff supporting and the responsible. And but in the class, all of the students were getting smart. Because you know even the principal is smart like this, you know the enter the class and even observe the work done. But for the social distance, do not observe the social distance like this.
What?
Hello?
No, no, observe the social distancing. Right. Well, we seem for the get problem with the line. We apologize for that, but then an update we will get as we be to talk to the deputy school prefect na the St. Joseph Secondary School na Abigail M. Aliu. He be to give you updates on waiting in the school picking them think but how it feel like for the back na school this morning. Well, we ask that the school authorities them continue for encourage the picking them for the observe the social distancing and all the other procedures them where the Ministry of Health and other health experts don't ask we for do so that the coronavirus no go continue for scatter. Now everybody in responsibility for ensure say you do what you supposed for do. They can call on the needful so that the sick no will continue for scatter.
The program Good Morning Salone, they continue for look at more issues in the program. As the leader for the National Grand Coalition NGC party in Parliament, Honorable Dr. Kandekole Yumkela, don't they blame the APC and SLPP who say they call them Alusan and Alasan for the kind politics them way then two parties they do in the country. We don't they unbog the country in development one. Make the leader for the main opposition or People's Congress APC party in Parliament, Honorable Cherno Majuba, say the member them we make up of the NGC party not different from other politicians them within the NGC, with the leader of the party, Dr. Kandekole Yumkela, can call Alusan Alasan Pansalon politics. For more on this, we join Princess Pias.
From 1961 to now, the two political parties them Gud Salone, na the All People's Congress APC party and the Sierra Leone People's Party SLPP. Over 50 years down the line, plenty people believe say them political party are responsible for put the country bottom the Human Development Index, make the country proper smack. But we Salone people, then can they talk this, politician them, within them two party can quick for point finger and blame themselves. But when you dey listen to some of the arguments them, you will notice say not just decide where some of them can turn up, then the member instead of the country. This not a secret say plenty thing dey happen at the Salone Parliament because na them two party get plenty representative them. This being time during one approval session at Parliament, member of Parliament them been demonstrate this.
We have enjoyed a multiple of tintinabulation shouting down the Honorable Justice Command Commander. But the case for which he is shouted down, it's not the first political case he has been involved in. He was in 2012. He was given a case that had to do with a dying man who later died out of the injuries of that beating in 2012. The late chairman of the SLPP of Constituency 104, the late Mr. Aziz Abdul Kewu. It was Justice Command Commander that denied him bail, even though he was on the sick bed. He was handcuffed to his bed. That's not the only case. It was the same Justice Command Commander that denied 19 SLPP supporters bail in October. And they were joyfully shouting, "Yay, Chief Justice, Chief Justice, justice has been served." And today the same justice that served justice in 2012 is here appointed by President Bio to continue to serve justice in the line of continuity in governance. Why are they fighting?
That's the Honorable Ibrahim Tawakonte, the Member of Parliament for Constituency 132, where they represent the Sierra Leone People's Party. But they talk about allegation against the opposition. This be make the Member of Parliament for Constituency 077 in Apoloko District, where they represent the All People's Congress Party in a Parliament, Honorable Abdul Kabu, being quick for defend in party.
I was a little bit amazed when my honorable colleague, Ibrahim Tawakonte, was casting praises on the judiciary that they were rendering justice. He even said when the chairman of SLPP, as he purported, was denied bail and he died, it was justice. When the 15 members of SLPP were impounded, he said it was justice. And later on, what surprises me the most, he was saying again, the judiciary should change. How could you have praised the judiciary and you are saying the judiciary must change? The judiciary has been caught always between the line of political menace. He was just confirming to me that in the days of APC, there were people or justices who supported the bad things, who were used for political execution, who did things they should not do. And he is saying because they did that during the days of SLPP, they have every justification to repeat the same. But I'm assuring that the worst will happen after SLPP if they continue.
This argument been build room for more political explanation.
To our cousins, Alassane and Alusine, given the past, when you listen to them enumerate the injustices
that voice
of
they
the
will
past,
just listen
there is
to.
an institutional
Now the
failure
leader
in the judiciary.
for the National Grand Coalition NGC party in Parliament, Honorable Dr. Kane Koleyum Kela, where they describe the APC and SLPP party as Alusine and Alassane. Na Salone, then Nemia, na Nemwe Komradem Kingi to twin them, we get the same face and a one mama and papa born them.
We found a judiciary that was designed to fail. We need to fix the judiciary. Honorable Abdul Kabo talked about impartiality and independence. Honorable Tawa gave other instances of what they perceived that maybe there could have been better impartiality and independence. If you want an independent, depoliticized judiciary, let's set it up. Let's change the system of appointment. You fix me, I fix you. SO2, this country will go down the drain. 20 years of tit for tat. We are copying all the wrong precedents. We need serious reform. This nation should be happy that if we leave it to Alassane and Alusine, they will do tit for tat, do me, I do you, and they will destroy every institution.
But during this term, the leader for the main opposition All People's Congress APC party in Parliament, Honorable Chayno Majuba, where it again final contribution at the well, it been take time for address the Alusine and Alassane name, where the NGC leader be labeled the APC and SLPP party, and to him, the NGC party is not qualified for be the Beshe na Salone politics.
Mr. Speaker, I had an undertone from one area on that side referring to or giving credence to the Al-Hassan or Al-Hussein. But I don't know who is Al-Hassan or who is Al-Hussein. I don't know. All I know is that if we are Al-Hussein and Al-Hassan is on that side, the last speaker is either a younger brother or the child of that very Al-Hassan. Mr. Speaker, it is evidently clear when you check the makeup, the configuration of the NGC, you see the players, you see the actors. I don't need to call them by names, but we know them. Are they different from those they're associating with Al-Hussein and Al-Hassan? Are they? They had either been ministers or ambassadors at one point in time or the other. So if we are looking for a Beshe in quotes, we are looking for a different Beshe, not the Beshe we are seeing now.
But from this argument where you just listen to, a clear say, politician named Salone go always take credit, where then sitting they go fine, and go push come out, spanting them, where go mix bad name to them political party. For Radio Democracy, Princess Piasley reports.
Ooh, yeah. Very, very many happy reasons.
Alright, well, this song, of course, I know by now, say anytime you play na Radio Democracy, somebody is celebrating birthday na the house. Well, today na a belated birthday. They go out to you, Wani Gauja, as you've been celebrating your birthday yesterday. On behalf of management and staff, we wish you a happy birthday, and we pray that the passion where you get for woman and girl picking them, you continue for you relentless report them around the issues and day and more. Happy belated birthday to you, Wani Gauja. We wish you the very best of luck. Well, we don't get the we don't get started, eh, Musa?
Yeah, of course. Me not meet up the party though, but I been come meet me on service. It was good.
Alright, so once more, happy birthday, belated birthday to you, Wani Gauja. The program Good Morning Salone, they continue.
The program Good Morning Salone they continue, and una don't send una text message them on the number 0779819181, and also on our Facebook page na tem now for make we take the text message them maybe.
Alright, the very first how the look at get for do the school picking them where they go back na school today. The person says some school authorities are still complaining that they are yet to receive preventive materials from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, which is very worrisome. He go ahead for say it ask on Dr. Senge and his team should be proactive to ensure they try and address the challenges from schools, especially for face masks. They come out from mistake.
This one say the project is good, but my concern is 200 buses for just Freetown if this will not kill the local transportation.
Alright, so we look at more messages. This one say, please let us go for the German-made buses which are strong and durable.
This one from Alaji Fujin on Facebook says, sir, building more market that will be left to abandon. I do not think it is a good initiative. I suggest that money will be used to repair and upgrade existing markets in places that we need in Sierra Leone.
More messages with a look at this one. They said, Duya, when we had a plan for design the bus, then please when not forget for make the buses and disabled friendly and accessible. It come out from Umfa Musa.
This one from Flexi Flux now with Facebook. They say, I don't think we should spend too much money on technology in this project. That we should do.
This other messages say, good morning Radio D. Do you make government thing but the university students and now especially the one them way the final year, please Mr. President.
This one from Ari Ambasuna with Facebook. They say this buses project is good on talking or on paper. If it is, it would be implemented. But oh yeah, Salone.
This other one say $50 million World Bank sponsored project to the government of Sierra Leone in transport sector is a welcoming news and timely, and it is emanated through the overseas trip of President Bio. Bravo to him and team Ikomacho Mama Alpha.
This one they say spending on bus projects. Why can't he try metro system in the city?
This what a message we're going to look at. It says as today is the reopening of schools for NPS, CBK and WAS candidates. I'm urging school pupils to observe the preventive measures to be on the safe side. Secondly, I'm urging the Ministry of Health and Water Resources to ensure water availability is a must in all the schools because wash facilities is a big problem in 80% of government schools in the country.
This one, Frances Fanji Joanna, na Facebook, they say the new direction is building Little London in Sierra Leone, the most efficient public transport in the world.
This other one say, Mr. Shaka, you are yet to convince us as to what's the difference between this project implementation and that we last heard from the OPII discussion at Radio Democracy. It seems familiar.
This one from Cecil Taylor Freeman Senior on our Facebook page. They say bravo to Princess Pierce for the detailed parliamentary report on the true character of Salone politicians.
Alright, the final one when we go look at this time, the person say people of Bo and Kenema will be appreciative if we have sustainable and non-stop electricity in these cities.
Okay, from the text message, we come to the studio guest Indolo Shiaka, project coordinator for integrated and resilient urban.
Let me just look at one part with headline story. Them also the Minister of Energy, Alhaji Kanja Sise, don't say for tap the way how plenty people in Abo and Kenema districts beyond the days concern for Sika. Smack blackout where they say they get and self low voltage way in some parts and other parts of the country. Make the Ministry of Energy don't begin the Bo Kenema network rehabilitation, expansion and electrification project will cost but $40 million. As he said, through this project, the Ministry of Energy will change all the pole them, cable and transformer them now then to district here so that people wait up there will able to get reliable and sustainable light. Well, Alhaji Kanja Sise talked this in one interview with the Democracy, where the Ministry of Energy together with the Electricity Distribution and Supply Authority EDSA will deliver 16,000 electric pole to the contractor them, where the Ministry of Energy be award the contractor for the Bo Kenema network rehabilitation, expansion and electrification project. Well, for more on this, Shena Jallo go report.
Now, so the atmosphere in Talek Nabu and Kenema district, this Bientem, with the Ministry of Energy and some will command them, and the Electricity Distribution Supply Authority, EDSA, would deliver about 1640 feet container of electric pole them to the contractor them will begin the Bo Kenema electrification. Now then 2 districts here. As well for tap the Pasmark challenge with people and then districts here. Don't they forget access to better and quality light system. This delivery may got the attention of plenty people in Abo and Kenema districts, like market woman them, bike rider them, journalists and plenty other one them. Where we talk for Sika this project, the Minister of Energy, Alhaji Kanja Sise, say this come after the plenty call where we know they come out from people in the districts here. For Sika challenge them more than say, then don't they go to forget access to sustainable and reliable energy for long term now.
Bo and Kenema are 2 big cities who for a very long time now nobody enjoy reliable and sustainable electricity. And therefore the president in his campaign message to tell the people that say when they get power, he will make sure that they enjoy sustained electricity. Well, at the beginning of the realization of a very solid project where they can address the weak electricity infrastructure in other 2 districts.
So when this project starts, and when people expect in completion?
Well, technically I would say don't start in the sense that don't begin bring the poles and come. The next 1 week to 10 days, the cable then they come, and thereafter the transformers then go come.
In continuity, because of the long term, where most of the transformer and cable then don't take, make plenty pandem, not on the function proper one again. So you see through this project, the Ministry of Energy go and say, then change all the cable them, pole them and transformer them, Nabo and Kenema. And himself say, they will make sure say they electrify place them and then to the street here. Will not be don't ever get light before through this project.
Electric will bring any kind of machine here, then pole here, then cable here, then transformer there, what they inside this store here. If we not change them, it will go better. So what in this project come from? That for now can change inside this whole township. We can change all them pole them, all them cable them, all them transformer them. Today we come with the pole them. The pole them not doing it too. Now some of the pole them that come with so for Bo and for Kenema.
Bo and Kenema district, where this NCA will give work to more people than the districts here.
What will make President get this electricity business and I ask? What will make it get and I add bad one? But could take the way they go out. If they get plenty investors them. What they tell and say, one can that you country for can invest, but we not get for can because we not get sustainable power. Bo, Kenema they get a factory, they don't get industry there. Now power.
Business beyond the among them business.
Especially when they Concord Road. We can just tell them one month like no they can. Like they jump in the jump. Highway like this. I not in the daylight. I mean they feel bad. I say, hey, come what happen?
Suleiman Kalon. Now welding I dey do. All along we don dey strain, we dey suffer for the electricity. The light system is really poor na both districts. But I thank God wetin I don begin see today. The other generator about up to 70 million. The other one and they win a camera, they win a 11 million. About 3 of them look all packed.
Food that they sell. It be very difficult, me brother. But now they don't have the post then. We glad it. So if they connect them quick, we dey quick with Kolwata, we was with Kolwata, we dey Kolwata.
Me na my name Jallo Mamadou Bobo. Or me na businessman na electronic at himself. This place let business if you money. Or if you see let no day, we know they sell electronic fan no they sell, fan no they sell, DVD no they sell. This generator can sell past them village at the way they can come by one thing. So now
transport owners, because what we they do with the buses the way they come, bring up. First of all, 200 buses then they buy, we get the bus they buy under the project. The 200 buses not all for Freetown. Some they go to the provinces to different destinations, and some they for hire, some they for executive use. So that is not all they get for data Freetown. Number one. Number two, the private sectors where they run buses now, then individual owners they will they form them into a company so that they go own new and better buses and get and see profit. That is why part of what we they do now, we they buy the buses and lease them to them. We they're not able for do now because they don't get the capital. But we not they kick them out of the market. Instead, we they enhance them and build their capacity. Somebody talk about we buy German buses. Well, all I go say to that person, the process therefore be competitive. We know they put name to bus, we they put the specifications, technical specification out. Would one bid for with German bus you go bid, would one bid with Indian bus you go bid. Other posts talk about disabled friendly. Of course, then they in the thick and thin of the project, even not just for the buses, even the footbridge that they make, they are going to be disabled friendly. If you get wheelchair, you go able ride go up. The buses then get ramp and disabled base and disabled areas then. Somebody also talks say they don't want too much technology. Well, I not be to understand that question, but if I interpret a million way, we know they make the buses then so heavily technology that we then go while we're not able to repair them. But we need some technology for run the system, like the control centers, the cameras, they all get for based on technology, and even the e-payment system. What you get for introduce as well when a big leakage na salon, na the way they go pay driver money. No, them boss will get for car run na cashless payment system. We get you Airtel money or you get the card where they swipe na the boss, because the boss they come with a POS system. We say the swipe card. So you know they go pay to driver money at all. We they cut down the off so that people will realize the money and we will replenish the buses. Another aspect we come up there, somebody say in get implementation concern. He said then you can find a paper, but how we are alone for implement. Well, as I said earlier, I can understand people their fears because of their experience. But we want for promise this is a different approach, this is a new direction, and their implementation for this will come near, if not perfect, to which we talk on paper. And finally, somebody talk about, somebody talk about say, in Glady because we they make here like London. Make it say we go get to that, but we want to surpass that because we want to make Salone a better place than any other side. Finally, one person asks, what are the difference between OPII and the IROM? I start to answer that earlier in the program, and I want to stress on this. First of all, I want to say we always collaborate and work as a team. The extent of my knowledge to we collaboration with OPII, now that we support them for let them collect data we go use as well for expand. As I be say, then scope been very small when at the CBD. Now that we expand them for go all side you see.
So they're not going for make footbridges, they're not going for make markets, they're not going for make any street lights.
Well, none to my knowledge. Waiting I know now so now that Ministry of Transport and Aviation under this project IROM $50 million. Where would they make street lights? Traffic lights. Correct me, say traffic lights, footbridges, pedestrian walkways, markets, and all the rest. And after that, we want to expand the project to other parts of the cities.